Hello everyone, this is the Muskego Park Crit. This is the 2026 race Cat4 5, and I'm going to be doing some live commentary. This race was a week ago now.
Oh, Ty, come on!
I was just talking with Ty, who you saw on camera not clip in, about people who couldn't clip in an earlier race, so that was kind of funny to see. But yeah, this is a pretty hilly crit. It is a 1.2 mile lap, so a bit on the longer side. There are no corners. The last one, which I guess you could say is turn 4, maybe is a corner. You could easily pedal through it if you took the line correctly, but because of the pack dynamics in this race, most of the time you weren't going to be getting that nice line through, so you kind of needed to treat it like a corner. Like if you were on your own, you could easily say that this is a 0 corner crit. Pretty hilly. They like to market it as 100 feet of climbing per lap. I think it's more about 65. It's not 100, but it's a pretty decent hill every lap. And so that left side of the mini map, sorry, we're on the left side right now. The right side of that little map is the uphill, and the side that we're on right now is a downhill. It's maybe 5% for a little bit right there, and it's pretty easy to get up to the high 30s without pedaling. This is the kind of course that I typically should be pretty good at. I'm not the lightest, but I'm a parachute. I'm 6'4", 155, and so a lot of the time I have a bit more drag and wind to deal with, and so naturally I'm just a bit better up the hills because, you know, the drag is a little less for everyone, so it's like, oh, I get that little bonus in performance. But the guy in front of me right here, Noah, is very much a breakaway guy, so right now he's giving me the little look, which I know is the, are we gonna go look? And I kind of just like nodded at him saying, if you want to go for it this early, because he likes trying to go for it early. I said, just, yeah, go for it if you want. Say if you want to go try go for it, go ahead, but it's like this early in the race, I don't know. This is a Cat4 5 race, so most of the time there isn't any team dynamics, but there was at this race, which was pretty exciting. There was 5-ish people from Team Wisconsin, 5-ish from Team Hollander, 5-ish from Team Triple X, and 3 or 4 from Brazen Dropouts. And so there was actually like team tactics here, and each one of those teams had their lead out guy, and each team had their sprinter, and each team had their guy who was going to be a nuisance on the front. And so this was a pretty fun race to try to navigate around as a solo rider this time around. But yeah, well, I'll pop in occasionally with some thoughts and see where we go from there. it looks like Hollander got on the front. They organized, and a couple of brazen dropouts are going to come up right now as well. It looks like they don't want anyone getting away here, so a solo lead out or a solo breakaway is not going to be happening today, which I don't know if they know this, but we do have a rider in here in this field that did do a solo 30-minute breakaway in Autobahn 2 months ago to win it, and that was crazy because it was such a windy day at Autobahn, and to do a 30-minute solo breakaway while the field's trying to catch you is insane. So they're probably thinking, we're not going to let that happen today. We're going to get on the front. We're going to keep this fast. Swear right there, oopsie, because I dropped my chain right there. Ty from Team Wisconsin pointed out to me after the race that I have a bit too long of a chain still. I got my new chain over the winter and had it on the trainer for most of its miles, so I didn't trim it to the correct length, and so it was a bit long, and it fell off on a backstroke, and so I was able to get it back on without needing to stop, but that could have been bad, so mental note of that throughout the rest of the race, making sure that wasn't going to happen again. here at the halfway mark of the race, Team Hollander is going to send one. This doesn't go anywhere either. There's a lot of teams here that aren't going to allow that to happen, and so I wasn't too worried about it. In the middle of the race, like when this happened live, I thought this guy in front of me on Hollander blocked me in after letting people go by. No, I had plenty of room for like 10 seconds, and then finally he cuts over, and so he didn't really block me off. I just waited way too long to take that inside line there. I like being near the front, even if it means doing a bit more work, just because in these Cat 4-5 races, it is kind of common to have those splits happen, and they can be pretty dangerous in terms of being able to get a good placing on your race, but nothing went today, so I just sat and waited for Team Wisconsin to bring it back, because they've got people that they want to make sure are able to contend for first as well. Now here's where something potentially pretty race-threatening happens. Is there's already a Hollander guy off the front, a Brazen Dropout guy, a Triple X guy, and Noah, who's solo but pretty good at breakaways, all get off the front. And it's like, oh, that could stick if they meet up with that Hollander guy up there. And it's also a preem lap, and so I do a bit of an effort to see if I can catch them, but I realized kind of quickly that and they just caught the Hollander guy too. The field was right behind me, like there was no gap between me and the field, so I slowed it down a little bit in a second, because there's people to do the work. Yeah, I don't need to do the work to catch these people. And so if the field's right behind me and they're not going to let the gap go, then I'm not going to be the one to pull it back. I say oh no there because I see Jamari, who I rode to this ride with. He's off the side. He got there was no pulling in this race. He pulled himself, so he was done with the hill intervals. And so I was like, he's off the course. So he was fine. He didn't crash or anything. He was just done. He already got lapped once. I don't know if he got lapped or not yet, but he knew he was not in the group anymore. So he was like, yeah, I'm done. So it's all good. So right here, we're at like 2 3/4 laps left. We just passed the 3-lap left marker. My plan for this race was to try to get to the front, and this JJS guy right here kind of a little squirrely along with me, but my plan was to get to the front with 1 lap to go because I knew that there was going to be a little bit of surging happening in that last lap, and so I didn't want to have to fight with everyone else who was surging. But I went from 20th to 3rd within an instant there, and so I got to... I said it's raining because Ty just threw a snot rocket. But I got to the front way too quickly. I thought it was going to take me another lap to get there, but everyone kind of just slowed down at the top of the hill, and I'm there now. And so this kind of ruined my plan because the surge around me is still going to happen, but it's going to happen with a lap left, and then I'm going to have to refight to get to the front. And so it's like, oh, oops, I kind of messed that up. one to go at this point. I'm not in the position I want to be. This was the point where I wanted to be kind of like the front three, because these teams are all together still, and they're all going to start their little lead-up trains, and it's going to get really fast down this hill. I know that right here I'm kind of boxed in. Sam, who is on that green bike with the tan walls, is usually like a solid effort guy for Hollander, so I thought he was going to get on the front. No. So right now I'm in like 30th. I know that I got to move up, and maybe 20th. And so I'm going to take kind of a little deviation. I didn't cut anyone off. I'm going to get to the outside because the inside was just not moving up the way it needed to. And there was a bit of effort here that I needed to do, but I got to the front, but I am not in a position to stay in the front right here, because all of the faster people are going to come up on the left side of that rider that I just passed. So there goes the Team Wisconsin train. They've got that going. And then Hollander's got two right after him. And they're gone. That should have been, should have tried to get on those wheels. And then you'll see here, I am not in the top 10 anymore going into this last hill. I would say even with the couple of people passing me on the inside, 12th maybe, but I'm gonna have to dodge some people who didn't shift early enough. We'll see one happen right here. I don't know, I get my timing wrong. Yeah, this guy cuts me off. I should have took that inside line. Now I'm fighting for it. This guy's gonna lose his clip, and this guy's gonna lose his clip. It's like, well, I'm needing to dodge those people while sprinting, and so I just needed to be in a better position going in the last turn, and that could have been a lot better of a result. But it was a good race. Everyone stayed on the rubber. The stats are on the page right there. Thanks for viewing the whole thing. Thanks for coming out racing if you raced here today. And hopefully I'll be able to go out and record a couple more soon.